If you're watching this, it means they got me. My dead man switch activated automatically after I missed 2 scheduled check-ins. I had it set up months ago because I knew this day was coming. I did not die by accident. I was murdered to keep their secrets buried. My name is Virginia Louise Giuffre. I was one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. They thought killing me would bury their secrets, but this video is going to a few organizations I trust, ones that have been exposing the truth for decades. You know who you are. It's your job to continue this fight. I was 16 when they reeled me in. I worked at Mar-a-Lago, folding towels, cleaning lockers. Trump, he was around, but he was never the threat. The real predator was Ghislaine Maxwell, prim and proper, smiling, promising to teach me massage therapy at the Pink Mansion in Palm Beach. I had no idea I was being fed into a nightmare machine. Epstein's Island was hell disguised as paradise. You've heard some names linked to him, but those are just the sacrificial pawns. The real players, the ones they've protected at all costs, are still hiding in plain sight. I'll name 2 now. The first, a former U.S. president, Barack Obama. Publicly, he's revered. Privately, he was one of the worst. He wasn't there for the girls. He was there for the island boys. Young boys, trafficked and groomed. I saw him more times than I can count, always without his Secret Service detail, sometimes with his Hollywood friends, George Clooney and Tom Hanks. I still have nightmares about them, arrogant and drunk on power, slinking into the cabanas with kids barely out of childhood. The second, Bill Gates, the billionaire philanthropist, loved by the media, hailed as a savior. We called him the benefactor, and we used to dread seeing him naked. But he didn't come to party. He came to experiment. Genetic experiments, human experiments. I saw him inject a young girl with something they said was a genetic enhancement. She was younger than me, strapped to a table, terrified, treated like a lab rat while they muttered about seeding the future of the species. These men think they are gods, playing with life like it was theirs to own. I'm telling you now, Epstein isn't dead. They staged his death because he was too valuable. He held blackmail on some of the most powerful people on earth. Files, videos, confessions. They couldn't risk him talking, but they also couldn't risk him gone, so they hid him. Stashed him under the protection of the same elite who once paid him to supply them with flesh. And they thought killing me would stop this from coming out.
Former CEO of Dole, dead, June 9th, 2025. Founder of Leprino Foods, dead, June 19th, 2025. Bernard Lauder, CEO, billionaire philanthropist, dead, June 14th, 2025. Frederick Smith, former CEO of FedEx, dead, June 21st, 2025. Billionaire Burton Tansky, dead, March 16th, 2025. Billionaire Robert Shapiro, dead, May 2nd, 2025. Former CEO of Hasbro, Alan Hassenfield, dead, July 8th, 2025. Blackstone executive, Wesley LePatner, 43 years old, dead, July 2025. Junior Bridgman, billionaire, dead, March 11th, 2025. Joshua Pickles, DoorDash executive, dead, June 21st, 2025. Milestone CEO, dead, June 2025. Jim Irsay, dead, May 21st, 2025. He was the CEO and owner of the Indianapolis Colts. You think all of these are a coincidence? All of them?
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's been a while. I've been jumping mad timelines, which I will talk about in another video. But in this video, I put together a collage of clips that you may have seen and some that you may not have seen of this Charlie Kirk situation. These clips are not in random order. They're in a specific order so you can formulate your own timeline as to see what's to come. This is how you see timelines, and this is how you can predict what's to come. Basically, I'm teaching you how to use coincidences to build timelines and predict what's about to happen. As I say in a lot of my videos, events like this is a script, it's an act. They're all actors. They're all putting on the show to line the human population up for enslavement. And this Charlie Kirk situation is not any different. They're using him, and I believe not only using him, I think they recruited him years ago, and he knew this day was coming. And this is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is what it is. This is my opinion because I see timelines, I see how these things work. So He knew that his assassination date was coming up. He was preparing for it. He got all these followers, and now his wife, which I'm gonna talk about later in this video, took over. So he leading the followers. Now they can lead the followers in another direction, the same way Alex Jones is doing. So I'm gonna let this video play, and I'm gonna talk throughout some of it, because you're gonna see some things that you wouldn't even think are part of this agenda that it is. But they setting us up for something big, and it's so much distraction because something big is coming, and they keep focusing on this situation. I haven't seen anybody talk about something this much so long, and it don't seem like it's dying out. It seems like more and more clips coming out, and it's hard to tell if it's out on purpose or they just made very terrible mistakes. But as I say, and I'm talking too much, I'm gonna let some of the videos play, and I'm gonna talk through some of them and let you see the games they playing on you.
Why are they lying about Charlie Kirk? Why is it when they pulled Charlie off right and rushed him to hospital, did these guys decide to come straight in the tent, start pulling things down, moving cameras, standing on the chair that Charlie was sat on, and contaminating the whole crime scene? Then Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a reward to whoever identified the shooter. And now that money is going to the alleged shooter, Tyler Robinson's dad, because he is a good dad to turn in his son. They've now released the texts between Tyler and his roommate after he shot Charlie, a smart 22-year-old man with no criminal history and no history of violence, is hiding in the woods, watching the police all around, trying to get his gun back, which he just used to successfully kill the first man he has ever shot from long distance over a giant crowd on the first try, and typing perfectly coherent full sentences with punctuation detailing his crime in text messages on his phone to his lover. Wow. What a lucky break for the investigators.
All right, so if this actually is what it's looking like it's turning into, then this will be at least one of the most disgusting and disturbing things that our government has ever tried to pull on us before. Have you guys seen the video with Charlie Kirk? He's got his ring finger. He's got his ring on his ring finger. Hand goes down. Hand comes back up, and it's on his pinky.
Okay, go ahead, play him. When he gets shot, look, it goes to his pinky.
And I've searched every single video that I could find a close enough view where you could see the ring, and every single video, it switches fingers. And I was looking at the shot. I was freeze framing it, going back and forth. And if you look at it, you can see noticeable differences. Like that microphone don't even look real anymore. And what's going on with his fingers? Those don't even look like fingers no more. See, look, Charlie's fingers, not Charlie's fingers. Charlie's hand, not Charlie's hand. I don't really know how you can even try to argue with video footage from multiple people from multiple angles standing right in front of him. And I also not really sure how they would even try to pull something like this off. But I do know that we have technology that we have no idea even exists. And I know that you cannot trust our government for nothing.
So the first thing I want you to notice is there's this dot right here on Charlie's shirt, and it literally jumps up to the neck. Let's watch that again. Okay, so here's that weird, interesting dot. And then it just moves over on his shirt and then up, okay? First thing, now I want you to watch the F on his shirt. It disappears into thin air and then reappears again. Watch it very carefully here. Gone. Back. The third thing is the hair. Watch it glitch out here. One more time, watch closely here. Okay.
Hi, my name's John, and despite how upset I seem sometimes, I have no intention or desire to take my own life. Now let's talk about this fucking plane. So a private jet took off about 20 minutes, maybe less, after Charlie Kirk was shot yesterday, okay? People caught it. This is why they're gonna take the internet away from us. But while we have it still, let me show you. This is the jet, N888KG. Do you notice how it's only made literally one flight this entire year? One flight. That's the only listed flight. Here's the website for the company it's registered under. Looks like they're scrubbing that shit. Here's the building where the company is registered, okay? There's all the companies associated with it. Again, here's proof that the registration is real, yada yada. Here's the distance between the airport where the private jet took off and where Charlie was shot. It's walking distance. And here's the guy who owns the jet. Okay, have fun.
Wouldn't it be crazy that if at the exact same time of the Charlie Kirk shooting yesterday, the Senate was voting on whether or not they should release the Epstein files, literally at the exact same time. They actually voted to not release these files. Am I missing something here, guys? When something major takes place in the front lines, there's always something happening behind the scenes. This is the Parasites Playbook 101. Peace and love.
Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but look what I found earlier on Amazon. These were posted on Amazon on September 9th. That was day before yesterday. How does one publish a book on September 9th for something that happened on September 10th? Then Amazon changed it to this. But wait, if you scroll down, it still says this. Oh, but wait, they're not going to let this stay up. No, if you go search the book now, this is what you find.
Let me tell you all about a coincidence, and you all tell me if it's as wild as I think it is. Back in the 90s, when I was in high school, I was an extra on a couple of films, and one in particular was Snake Eyes, a film that starred Nicolas Cage. And do you want to know where I was an extra on that film? At the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay? Do you want to know the plot of that movie? It involves an assassination of a politician named Charlie Kirkland. He was shot. The name of the person who shot Charlie Kirkland was named Lincoln Tyler. The tagline for the movie Snake Eyes: believe everything except your eyes. Does anyone else find that odd?
Believe it or not, this Charlotte rail stabbing is also connected to the Charlie show. And this is just my opinion. The whole thing was staged. It was an act. Irena, bad actor. DeCarlos, an unwilling participant. DeCarlos, in a January arrest, stated that something man-made was put into him that was controlling the way he talks, when to eat, and what to do. The first red flag that I knew that this was fake, after deleting a white girl, they took DeCarlos, a brother with locks, to the hospital for a cut on his hand. They would never do that. They would never do that. Speaking from black melanated experience, they would never do that. They would take him straight to jail. This is equivalent to Dylan, I think Dalen, whatever his name, the one that shot up those 9 people in the church and they took him to Burger King. It's equivalent to that. They would never do that. There's something that's off about that. So that was fake. They probably took him to the hospital to take out what they put in him. Not only that, rumors circulated that Irena was stabbed in the neck 3 times. But if you look at the video, or if you look at freeze frame pictures, you would see her neck is clean. No blood, you can't even see no cuts or anything before she fell over. And here's a bonus for you. I just so happen to work with the people that work for that company. And they put wraps on these trains. Can you imagine what wrap they put on the red drum train? That's right. Wicked. Rumor got out that that was the red drum train. People didn't want to ride on it, so they took it out of service. Look what else it says. If they don't give you the coincidence, the universe will. Whose idea was this? Who thought this was a good idea? It just, you know what? Sometimes things just leave me speechless, and it amazes me like people don't catch on to this stuff. And this message could just be leading up to the Charlie Kirk. Another tactic the establishment love to use when they want to fuel white hatred is they always use a blonde girl and a black man. It's always a blonde girl. You never see brunettes, you never see redheads, you never see black hair. You always see blonde. Imagine if Irena was goth, all blacked out. I don't think the story would take off like it did. That's just my opinion, and maybe it would. I don't think it would. And don't forget, I made a video 8 years ago with the same situation. And shortly after that, the Charlottesville riot happened that involved the KKK. You know another thing these 2 blonde women have in common? They're both from another country. Irena is from Ukraine and Justine is from Australia. No ties to this country to verify their existence. And now they're using DeCarlos' illness to push this agenda.
If you're not paying attention to executive orders, you better start paying attention today, because what just got passed might be the most dangerous one that he's passed. I know it sounds like hyperbole. It's really not. This new executive order signed just hours ago doesn't just target the homeless. It targets anyone with mental illness. Let me repeat that. Anyone. If you have a psychiatric condition, this executive order states that it can institutionalize you, monitor you, and cut you off from public services. You don't have to be violent. You don't even have to commit a crime. The bar is simply that you just can't care for yourself. The problem there being the ambiguity. Who determines what proper level of care is for oneself? I don't know, sounds like an excuse to just kind of round up anybody that you don't like or agree with. 1930s Germany started with the disabled, the mentally ill, the addicted, under the guise of, for the sake of public order. Previous executive orders had opened the door for normalizing involuntary confinement. This one blows the door off the hinge. And we all know this doesn't just end on one marginalized group. The target moves. The target always moves. Hopefully people wake up here soon and realize that the only protected class in America are billionaires who are on Epstein's list. It's not about safety. It's about control. Always was, always has been.
Keep that in mind for all you vets that's claiming PTSD. They're coming for your guns. And just like clockwork, the deletion of this blonde woman brought out white rage.
Man, fight back! White 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 man, fight back!
White man, fight back. Fight back who? It was a white guy that did the shooting. But that didn't stop them from taking their rage out on Afro-Americans.
I want you to watch this and we're going to come back and discuss it.
We need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high and sundown. Leave them swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
It's 2025 and we have musicians, and I use that word very loosely, talking about actively hanging people from trees. And if there's any confusion on the message that they're trying to convey, you have to look deeper into the video, specifically into the type of dog they show. Now, if you live in the South, you know that those type of dogs are called coonhounds. They're used today to hunt raccoons, foxes, things like that. And the modern one didn't come around until around the early 1900s. But prior to that, the coonhound, specifically the red-bone coonhound, was used to track and find runaway enslaved people.
It's just another divide and conquer tactic, another distraction, because they're planning something big and they're creating all these distractions, race, conspiracy, everything to keep you preoccupied with what's going on because they're doing something big. All right, let's get to the juice of the matter. And this is my opinion. Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, has been initiated into the Freemasons. They destroyed his character, stealing his followers, but he get a new life as a Freemason. Why else would they fly all the flags at half-staff throughout the country? They normally do that for high-ranking officials, maybe presidents. I don't know if John F. Kennedy even got that. But for presidents, maybe officers, military officials, he haven't even served in the military. Why would somebody that voiced their opinion, got a podcast, get the flags half-staff? And you can't even talk about this man without even getting fired because you're talking about one of their members, their newest members. They trying to make you respect the elite, respect that this is a new member. That's what I get out of it.
What if he faked his own death? That could be. Last night I was watching a movie where this guy, this really rich guy, wanted to transfer his soul into a younger body because his old self was sick. And the guy, the scientist, said, okay, but to fake your own death, it needs to be in a public place. And that set off like a light switch in my head. Has to be in a public place. The next thing you know, Netanyahu comes out and does 2 public announcements saying we had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk passing away. That's weird. Since when does the leader of a nation come out to address a rumor on social media? A conspiracy, as they call it? What? Not once, but twice. And the last weird thing that I'm going to tell you about is that if you see one of the pictures of Tyler Robinson, one of the regular pictures that they provided, in the TV, in one of the frames, there's an island. If you go and look at what this island is, it has a place there called Valhalla. Rewind. Cash, the FBI director, made a public announcement for Charlie Kirk. And he says, I love you, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you in Valhalla. Now, in Norse mythology, Valhalla is like heaven, right? But hold on a second. Charlie and Cash are not pagans. Charlie is a Christian. He follows Jesus. So why would he say, see you in Valhalla? And then the Tyler Robinson kid has that. Dude. So I'm going to leave you with the quote from the movie. If you're going to fake your own death, do it in a public place.
Looks like they might be using holographic technology with this entire Charlie Kirk situation, all meant to traumatize the masses. Let me know what you think about this. This sounds wild, but the technology is out there.
You're going to get the ability to kind of put holograms in the world. I think in the not too distant future, this should be blended together, right? You'll have like the physical world, but all this digital stuff should just basically be holograms. In the future, we'll have AI coworkers. Those people won't even, they're not even people. They wouldn't be able to be embodied. So if you're having a physical meeting, you're sitting around with a bunch of people, they couldn't show up as like, you know, part of the team no matter what. But I think like we'll get to a point where just like your friend could show up in a hologram, and like your AI colleagues will be able to also.
So I want you guys to watch this video right here.
Are we all together
watch the lady
in this
on the
room?
far right.
Are we? I feel
And I want you to really think hard about the Charlie Kirk incident.
For anyone watching, can you guess which one of us?
These holograms are getting out of control, guys. Check that out on the right. She was a hologram. But look how real that is.
I'm the one in love.
It's crazy.
I love.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, I'm sure all of you have noticed online that a lot of people are talking about why are these people allowed to be in this canopy? Why isn't this marked off and taped off as a crime scene? And why is this guy in the white shirt taking the most very important camera down? What do you think is the most very important camera there? Why is he taking it down? Well, here's why. Because it's not a crime scene. A crime didn't take place here, and that's not a camera. Now, before I tell you what it is, I want you to get a real good look at it as he's taking it down. Anybody figure out what it is yet? Okay, here's what it is. It's called a hologram projector. And if you don't believe me, you can go look them up online. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. Usually $20,000 to $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for these things. And they come in different varieties. Now, Hollywood calls them hologram stage projectors. Now, you see how Charlie's little tent there is a perfect square? And as you can tell, it's 10 foot squared, 10 foot all the way around on each square, and it's about 9 foot tall. That's because it has to be for the projection to work. Now, let's explain.
For smaller spaces, the projectors can be configured with mirrors to elongate the projection path and maintain picture integrity. Eyeliner displays ideally require a minimum footprint of 10 feet square and a height of 9 feet to show full-size human figures. What you are seeing is a reflected image which is so true and realistic to the original, it has become known as a virtual image. Many people perceive what they are seeing now as a 3D hologram. In fact, it is a 21st century take on a mid-19th century visual effect known as Pepper's Ghost, showing now on the relay screens. Thanks in part to the amazing optical properties of the eyeliner foil, combined with the light and picture output of Christie Digital high-definition projectors, the image has depth and opacity that actually supersedes the scale and definition of traditional 3D hologram.
Like I said before, 10 foot squared, 9 foot tall. This canopy was made this size for a purpose because it is a hologram stage projection that you guys were watching. It's all smoke and mirrors. The world is a stage, people. Get over it. You've been lied to. Now, I know a lot of you going to say, well, Terry, if it was a hologram, how was he walking around passing out hats and talking to people? Because he was walking around passing out hats and talking to people. Only the assassination was a hologram. Here's what you're forgetting. You're forgetting about the trap door right by his feet underneath that little canopy there.
This is the place he got shot.
This is the courtyard where it all happened. It's now open to the public again. There's lots of people coming here, placing flowers, cards, things like that. The university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers. And there are several petitions online asking the school to make this into a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk.
You see, the trap door is the whole key. Yes, Charlie was passing out hats. Yes, Charlie was there. But when it was time for the hologram to come on, this is when Charlie went down into this little utility room or whatever this is underneath this trap door, the stage area where he was sitting. Okay, the assassination took place with the hologram. And then if you notice, all the guys, when he supposedly falls to the ground, all the security guys surround him. You can't see nothing. They raise the trap door up. He comes out, and then they carry him to an SUV, not an ambulance, not anything like it would normally be, to the SUV without a trail of blood anywhere because he never got shot. He was down in there the whole time. The hologram part of the assassination was taking place. It's really, really simple. It's complicated, but it's simple if you think about it common sensely. That's how Charlie was able to interact with the people there, because he could hear what they were saying and he could answer them and interact with them, just like the musicians from London to Florida.
It's incredible that this really is a remote live gig. The signal from London takes less than a third of a second to go all the way around the world and be projected as a hologram on the stage in the US. As well as the hologram making it feel like the band are actually in the room with the audience, the band can see the audience and actually interact and respond to what they're doing.
He was initiated. It may even be a 33rd. All the symbolism was a celebration.
They said Charlie Kirk was assassinated, but from the very first headline, something about the story reeked of theater. Too many unanswered questions, too many coincidences stacked on top of each other, too many symbols that people like us know are never random. Because when the establishment wants someone silenced or staged as silenced, they don't just pull the trigger, they script the entire play. And Charlie Kirk's so-called assassination looks like one of the most scripted events of the century. First, the numbers. You know how the elite communicate, through coded patterns and ritualistic numerology. We were told 47 MAGA hats were found at the scene. 47, which reduces to 11. Divide those hats into groups and they add up to 33. Over and over, we see this number in coincidental tragedies. 33 is the highest degree of Freemasonry. 33 is the calling card of the cabal. And wouldn't you know it, FBI Director Kash Patel casually announced the case unfolded in either 33 hours or 33 minutes. He said it on camera like a throwaway detail, but anyone awake knows when they say 33, it's not accidental, it's a signature. Then there's the Israel connection. For years, Charlie Kirk was an unflinching supporter. Turning Point USA leaned into that alliance. But weeks before his death, he rattled the status quo, criticizing Israeli influence in American politics, questioning where loyalties lie. That kind of dissent rarely survives unpunished inside the establishment right. Ask yourself, how many politicians, commentators, or public figures who cross Israel carry on unscathed? History shows a line is often drawn, and the backlash can be immediate and deadly. Or was he even assassinated at all? A whole camp of researchers suggests his death might be a staged disappearance, alive, hidden, rebranded, serving the cabal under a new persona. Why fake a death? Because the illusion of martyrdom is sometimes more powerful than the man. Kill the character, control the legacy, and redirect millions of followers wherever you want. In other words, Was this a real killing or a Hollywood-style exit staged to perfection? Kirk's death was used to justify tighter controls, to criminalize independent voices. Remove one figurehead, tighten the leash on the rest. That was the effect. Was that the intent? Some see ritual, 47 hats, reducing to 11, echoing 9/11. 33 hours of investigation, 33 minutes of unanswered questions, the same calling cards at every orchestrated tragedy. For the elite, numbers aren't mere digits. They're signals, signatures, rituals disguised as randomness. Every symbol around this event screams ritual. Now consider that Kirk might have been complicit. What better way to vanish, cash out, and re-enter as something else than fake your death? If he was a puppet for higher powers, erasing his public persona could be strategic.
I want to break this down for you, real nice and slow, to make sure you understand that they're on the same team. All parties involved, his wife, who donated money to his kids, who is so up in arms, who did and suspect number one. They're all on the same team. This team. And like I said, I'm going to continue to break it down for you real nice and slow, because this team is also this team, the Freemasons. And they love that number. They love it. They rub it in your face. And I'm going to show you them doing it over and over and over again. And in my opinion, it's also why they like this, because it's 6, 6, 6, and 33. It's doubly in your face. What a shocker that the suspect got captured 33 hours after in the very first page Yahoo article just happened to make sure they put 3,000 people were there. And there have been documented 300 cases, 3 and 3. Now, you might not be able to see through bad acting like I can, but I want to point a few things out to you. And it's a strange way to spell Erica. Something stands out to me. The moment I heard her say baby, I said she's going to say it 3 times. And listen.
Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen.
One more time. Come on.
I promise.
Come on.
Charlie, I love you.
Come on.
I love you, baby.
3.
Rest in the arms of our Lord.
That's how you hold 3. Baby, baby, baby. You know what those B's look like to me? Kind of look like 6s. Oh, and you know who she makes sure to thank very clearly?
And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strive,
and
my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
You make sure you thank Mikey McCoy. They do this. They use BBB for 666 and MM for 33. They're mocking you, and I'm trying to help. Again, you want to see bad crisis actors? Let's watch their staged back and forth. Oh, he just happens to be the first one in line.
You go to countries, or you go to
Countries.
You go to campuses.
Campuses.
And agitate people for like this exact scenario.
I sit here and ask questions. You're the agitator, not me.
Prove me wrong.
He accidentally says countries and then campuses, which is C, the third letter of the alphabet. 3. Wow. Come on, people. I'm making this so easy, and I'm trying to just spell it out for you from the goodness of my heart. You're being lied to on a massive scale. So I tell my wife that it's officially Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day on October 14th. And you know what she says to me? She says, oh, like the song. Like the song. It was the 14th of October, and that t-shirt off your shoulder. You took my hand and we pretended like I was your guy.
I love you.
I love you.
Oh, when I tried to guess your middle name, do you know just a few short days ago I heard that his middle name was James and his middle name was James, so I decided that I would guess what the middle name was of the Utah governor. And did you guess it like I did? That's right. Middle name. I tried to guess your middle name. And you know what the next line is? For 30 minutes, we played that game. J, the 10th letter of the alphabet. 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. For 30 minutes, we played that game. And that Coldplay song you were singing, this song was written in 2017. And Coldplay just happened to make a pretty big splash in the news recently. Taking shots like it was nothing. Do I even need to go there? Oh, and all the shots from there and shots from there, that's just muddying the waters so you don't know it was fake. Did the Running Man, you loved it. Kind of made me think of something. You brushed your blonde hair and kissed me out of nowhere.
I know. I love you.
I can still show you the spot where it all went down. Do you know they already paved over this area? Seems kind of strange for a crime scene. Maybe it's because they don't want anyone taking any fake blood and trying to do DNA with it. Oh, and just a reminder, that song is called Unforgettable. Kind of like that's probably the most unforgettable thing that has ever happened to this generation of kids that they're trying to traumatize like they did to me and people my age with 9/11.
This is the kid that was allegedly the one that took off Trump's ear, who was an actor for their commercials for their schooling system. This is the security guard that was at the event. That was also the security guard at this event. Funny how he looks a little strange there. A little different, right? Am I missing something here?
It's probably too soon, but fucking, I'm in that type of mood. Erica Kirk's taking over Turning Point. That's great. You know, Erica Kirk has her own ministry. Her first ministry she started in 2006 when she was 17 years old. In 2011, her ministry was in Romania, working with the U.S. government. Yeah. Her ministry was asked to leave Romania. Should really research why. Let me help you out, though, when you're trying to connect the dots from Erica to Donald to Jeffrey, all before Charlie. It's not a joke, boys and girls. These people all run in the same circle.
Yeah, so Republicans in Israel might have shot themselves in the foot with this Charlie Kirk thing, because Erica Kirk's story is coming out and the Republicans are freaking out over it. So if you don't know what's going on, Charlie Kirk's wife won Miss Arizona, a beauty pageant, when she was, I think, 17. She had never contested before. Someone just told her, hey, you could be a beauty pageant. And guess what company she worked for? Guess who she worked for in the beauty pageant? Donald Trump. Right after she won the beauty pageant, she ended up creating a Christian ministry that works with children and went to go work with the Romanian government. So now you have all these conservatives on TikTok and on Twitter asking, what kind of power does a 17-year-old have to create a Christian ministry to go work with the Romanian government to go for orphans? Now, here's a funny thing. At the same time that her ministry was in Romania working with the Romanian government, Romania went through a massive case of children missing. So the Romanian government kicked her, like her Christian organization that was in Romania to help Christian babies. The Romanian government told her to get the fuck out of the country because something just doesn't add up. Because her ministry is linked with too many children going missing. So now, I swear, go on TikTok, go on Twitter right now, search Erica Kirk. That's all you'll see. Everyone is talking about how the fuck she was 17. She won a beauty pageant under Trump's agency. And then right after she won the beauty pageant, she went to Romania, started working with children. Children started going missing, and the Romanian government kicked her out.
2012 wins Miss Arizona, competes in Miss USA, a pageant owned by Trump. Okay, want to know something really weird? So she had said in a podcast that she had never competed in pageants and had never done any modeling before, until one day she received an invitation in the mail to become a model and start doing pageants. And the pageants that she started doing were Miss USA pageants owned by Trump. So she modeled for Trump. She was one of Trump's pageant girls. But did you know that she was also a casting director at the same time that she was doing all of this stuff for Trump? And she doesn't specify on her website if she worked as a casting director for Trump, but around the time that she was claiming to be a casting director, she also owned a ministry that was working with the U.S. military in Romania. The area in Romania where she was operating this ministry had a bunch of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country. These children were being found in the UK, in Israel, and were also being sent to undisclosed private islands. Locals demanded authorities look into it, but they never did. Now, Charlie Kirk really wanted the Epstein files released, but did his wife? Prior to marrying Charlie Kirk, she was a multi-millionaire on her own, and since his passing, she's also amassed all of his wealth, plus an additional at least $5 million in donations. She's currently considered the most powerful woman in the United States, with mega fans begging her to run as vice president in 2028. Let's talk about their first date, because it was actually a job interview. Back in 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump had started working with Charlie Kirk had hosted a Turning Point USA opening event for one of the offices that they had opened. And Erica and Charlie Kirk were introduced to each other. Charlie Kirk instantly thought that she was beautiful, but thought that she was really smart. And allegedly, one of their mutuals had suggested that Charlie Kirk hire Erica. I'm assuming it was Donald Trump or someone on his team, because Donald Trump had signed on to work with Charlie Kirk, and Erica was already one of Donald Trump's employees. So it would make the most sense for Donald Trump and his team to encourage Charlie Kirk to hire Donald Trump's employees. Anyways, Charlie Kirk DM'd Erica, invited her for a job interview. The job interview ended up turning into a date, and Erica allegedly had said, "You're not going to be my boss, you're going to be my boyfriend." It just seems suspicious.
Purposely thrown in your face to keep you distracted.
And let me be clear, we're not even going to play the video. We don't even need to play the video, because I am not talking about what Erica says at all. I'm talking about what is said by your visual cues in this video. Here is a still image of the video, and if you want, I encourage you to pause it and look around. What do you see other than her, which is also important? The thing that immediately caught my eye was that. And at first I was like, is that what I think it is? And it certainly was. What an odd thing to have turned out on a bookshelf to perfectly face the camera. And if you still don't know what that is, let me show you. That's exactly what that is. It is the Time magazine cover that features Donald Trump as Person of the Year, and that is a very odd thing to have staring down the camera. This subliminal messaging is echoed again in the foreground. You see 1 MAGA hat, 2 MAGA hats. That one's a little bit cut off, but that's certainly what it is.
They also ruled 51-49 not to release the Epstein files, with only 2 Republicans, Rand Paul and Josh Hawley, voting on the side of Democrats. And they are proposing to take the visas of anyone who was not speaking favorably about this man who was just unalived. And a representative of Florida just brought to the floor of Congress that they should be able to revoke the passports of anyone speaking unfavorably about Israel. Passports, as in U.S. citizens.
Well, here it is, folks. It is happening. They want to lock you in this country. A new bill introduced this week would give Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, the ability to revoke and deny passports to U.S. citizens. And for what? For what you think and for what you say. Introduced by the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Republican Brian Mast from Florida. Of course, they couch it as this is for terrorists and for traffickers, but we know that's not true, because this is the exact same line of logic that they use to strip students and to arrest green card holders. So all of the pro-Palestine protesters at Columbia, across these other universities, where they stripped their student visas, where they arrested people like Khalil Mahmoud just for exercising their First Amendment speech for protesting the genocide. Now they want to do that same thing without due process to U.S. citizens. They want to strip your passport or to deny your passport application for things that you have said. And what they're going to do is they're going to say that you have provided material support to terrorism based on the things that you have said. But the difference is they would have to prove that in a court of law if they were to charge you under terrorism laws. Under this bill, they just accuse you. They accuse you of being a terrorist, of providing material support. They never have to prove anything. Then they just take away your passport. Because if you're actually a terrorist, they don't need to do this. They just charge you under the terrorism laws. You go to prison. Remember, my global entry was revoked in March, 2 weeks after I started speaking out against the regime. There's no due process there. And they want to do the same thing to just take away your ability to leave this country without any due process. They make an accusation, boom, no passport, you can't travel anymore. This is another canary in the coal mine. This is telling you get out now because they are locking down the border.
The point of this video is to warn you that the human race is headed towards enslavement. I'm not looking at race as in color, black, white, or none of that stuff. It's the human race as a whole. That's why they're having us fight amongst each other. If we all come together, we wouldn't have this problem. So the human race is about to be enslaved, and people with good hearts wonder how can other humans treat humans this way? Why would you try to enslave your fellow man when we can make this world a better place? It's because they're not humans. We're not being run by humans. People with big influences, high followers, they're being replaced. They're not humans.
You want to know why my video of celebrity hands went viral? It's because I'm right. It's because a majority of the population know that this is absolutely abnormal. You're telling me this hand transformation is just from weight loss? Guys, come on, I don't think so. You people act like I don't have aunts and uncles and grandparents and great-grandparents and sisters and moms and me. We all age. My hands have never changed. This is not... What the heck? And a lot of you also mentioned age. I mean, let's be honest. How much could Hailey Bieber have possibly aged between this picture and peep the hands and this picture? Let's be honest. And I'm not talking about fingernails. I'm talking about the joints of the fingers. How? She has extremely long fingers. All of a sudden, though. Same with Cynthia Erivo. You're telling me prior to Wicked, her and her hands looked like this? Completely normal. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing this. I'm telling you guys, this is very inhuman. This is otherworldly. This is not anything I have ever seen before. Totally bizarre. What is going on? No. I'm showing you actresses who haven't lost a ton of weight. I'm showing you actresses who haven't aged 2 decades. Yet many of their hands look like this. Call me crazy all you want, but I'm telling you right now, this is absolute insanity and it's not normal.
Oh, fuck no. Y'all, what the hell is going on at this ceremony? At the Charlie Kirk ceremony, y'all? This shit is weird to me. It's not weird to y'all? What else do y'all notice that's weird to y'all about this picture? You can't make this shit up, y'all. This shit is weird. I seen the video and I can't find it no more. I should have saved that jump. But look at Elon Musk's left hand. Look at that jump. What do y'all notice about Elon's left hand? This shit is weird, fool. Look at buddy right here. He looking like, hey, I'm noticing the same shit. I'm not gonna say what it is. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. What the fuck is wrong with this picture? I'm just sitting here like, bruh. If y'all don't know this, I can't see for y'all. I know what my eyes see. Y'all tell me what y'all eyes see. And yes, this is a real picture, fool. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That shit right there don't look normal.
One time they had this show on TV and it only had 1 season, and it was one of those government shows like 24 Scandal, where everything revolves around the president and within the government system. But in this show, there were aliens that infiltrated the government system, and some of the humans knew about it, but they kept it away from the public. And the way they could tell who was who is they had to give blood tests every now and then to certain people to make sure that they were humans. So I think there was a president assassination attempt. So they brung in this other guy, but they gave him a blood test. So this lady came in, I think she was the one that was in charge. She came in and put this skin over his arm. And when they drew the blood, they drew it from a blood pack under that skin. So they wouldn't get his blood, so it could prove that he was human. So they had to do all this stuff and they kept it away from the public. So they knew, so it was people inside the government trying to find out who these people is and get them out without exposing it to the public. But that show got good and they canceled it, got it off the air. And you know, when they tell you too much truth, they take it off the air. So it may be some truth to that. It may be, and it seems like that's it. I don't know, it makes sense to me. So I'm telling you that these people that you think are people that's running the show, they're not human. Especially one that's way up top in the royals, they're not human.
Is Billy Carson the man that spoke too much? Yesterday, I was shocked when I saw his new video and it looked nothing like him. And I'm like, this seems to be like some Kanye situation. We all know that when someone gets too close to the truth, they don't silence him anymore. They replace him. This is an image from an older video. As you can see, a little bit older than me. He has his wrinkles, his fine lines, perfectly balanced for his age. His teeth are raw and real. Lots of things. Notice the small details. This was Billy Carson, the researcher, the author, the speaker, a man diving into the forbidden vaults of hidden history. He talks about extraterrestrial intervention. I've been called the female Billy Carson, basically. He made you question everything, religion, government, even reality itself. And when I first started, he was an inspiration for me. I'm like, oh, we can achieve it. He has done it. So let's smash cut to present day Billy Carson, which is this image. And when compared to the old him and new him, something is off. In the newer photos, his skin is taut. His eyes seem unfamiliar. His tone, robotic. It's robotic, polished, almost too smooth. He used to be very passionate and sometimes the voice would raise and go higher and lower based on his emotions. So when I look at this, all I can think of is, did they replace him? Just think of this. He used to talk about spiritual sovereignty, and now he's talking about crypto. He's talking about politics. There is no more spiritual light in his conversations and topics. It's almost as if they uploaded a brand and forgot the soul. You know what I mean? Since we do the same kind of content and research, the moment I see that he's not him and doesn't look like him, yes, I'm going to say something. I'd wish and hope that someone would do the same for me. And when they are making doubles, the doubles are never the age of anyone over 40. Like the maximum you're going to see a double is like 30, at the most 35 years old. And this is what I'm seeing. So ask yourself, are you watching the real Billy Carson or just a shell or double of who once was?
Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. Share it to somebody that needs to see it, and I will talk to you real soon. Everyone have a great day. Peace.